Well, they're getting the formalities over on the ice here. Richard, while they're going through the opening ceremonies here, we've got Canada out there, we've got Sweden. The NHL players are over in North America right now, playing right in the middle of their season. What can we expect to see here today?
There's a good mix of experience on this Canadian team. You've got university players, AHL players, and NHL players involved in this. The Swedish team have many students, college kids, so to speak, and a lot of experience on their side as well. I look at the Swedes to be a fast, quick team right off the start of the puck.
Well, the Swedes have some youngsters, in particular, Fredrik Andersson, 21-year-old goaltender, along with the experience of Peter Aslan, who is 27.
Николай, Морозов.
They'll be going between the pipes for the Swedes. Up front, they've got guys like Андерс Хусс, Andersson, Johansson, Magnus Rupp, who plays for Färjestad, Kolbeck, Patrick Kolbeck, Ulf Sandström, a familiar name. Tommy Sandlin is the coach. They've got a lot of experienced players, guys who've been on the national side, guys who've been around a while. The Canadians, several National Hockey League players.
That's right, as Bobby Dallas and Lane Lambert both saw action with Quebec last year. There's experience in the goal with Belfour, having seen some action with Chicago last season. Skorodensky's been with the Canadian national team and played with Cape Breton of the American Hockey League. So there's a lot of experience in the goal on that team as well.
So despite the loss of the, say, the premier players, the players who are in the National Hockey League, and believe me, the National Hockey League are poaching players from all over the world now. It used to be the Finns, it used to be the Swedes, the Czechs, but now even the Russians are there.
That's right. There's a fine crop of the best Russian players now in the NHL, and some of them are doing very well. As you know, the few of them have gone with Vancouver, Edmonton. They're on a few of these teams really taking part and doing their thing in the NHL at the moment.
So we look forward to this game here as the names of the players go up in front of you. The game coming from the Soviet Union, so we are at the mercy of the director and the people over there. They will provide the score lines. What we can tell you is that there are a lot of good players, and we will call them out as they come onto the ice and let you know who scored the goal for the Canadians. Belfour, Skorodensky are the goaltenders. Levens, Poudriere, Lovson, Odelin, Schreiber, Nemeth, Lambert, familiar names, Hadju, Boisvert, Strubi, Greives, Dulles, who's been around, Brost, Heru, Martin, Blaisdell, Grättön, and Schiegel. And the Canadians, as we get set to start this first period, are playing from right to left in the red jerseys. And right from the opening face-off, the Swedes dump it in. First touch to number 29, Skorodensky. And the deafening noise coming from the PA system in the background. The Soviet announcer announcing that this game is well and truly underway. Greives is in there. We'll have a face-off as we take a look at the Swedish team, coached by Tommy Sandlin. They take a quick change, and they will be changing their lines every 30 to 45 seconds. Lambert stays out there, Lane Lambert, who has two brothers playing in England.
That's right, Ross and Dale Lambert both played for the Humberside Seahawks in the British Ice Hockey League.
So quite a hockey family. Strubi knocks it back. Levens. No score here in the first period. The Canadians playing from right to left. The Swedes with a different style of ice hockey. They'll be going for the long pass. Not particularly physical. The Canadians like the short, often dump and run. Swedes working their way in. Oh, and a good save. Strömball got the first shot on net. And the goalie had to be sharp on that one.
That's right, it's a quick shot from close in. Goalie had to be awake. It's early in the game yet. They're all trying to loosen up and get ready here.
The organ playing between the face-offs, often disconcerting for people who are not used to it. It came from the NHL, and often when the officials make a mistake in the NHL, the organist will play Three Blind Mice. I don't know whether the Soviet organist knows that tune. We'll see if he needs to be called on to play it. Going back for it, Lars Carlson. Head manning the puck, goes through to the Canadian defense. Poudre getting it up on the wing. A slow start for both teams, feeling each other out. Boisvert in on the action. Boisvert tries to leave it for Martin. Picked up. The whistle blows.
We're going to have a penalty call here by the looks of it. There's a hit from behind, a little bit away from the puck.
So the power play going to the Canadians as Patrick Kornbach goes into the box for 2 minutes. Canadians with the familiar face of Dave King.
Well, it's early yet, but we'll get a look at the Canadian power play here and see what they can set up.
Schlegel out there with Lambert. Steve Greives on the wing.
Lane Lambert wearing that C on his jersey, a very experienced NHLer who's going to captain this side through the tournament.
Schlegel brings it out, gets it back again in the neutral zone. Bit of cat and mouse as the Canadians work it out. Lambert calling for it. Puck is pushed back into the Canadian zone, and again Schlegel. Up on the wing. Lambert brought down. Olin picks it up, squeezes it against the woodwork. Can't keep it in there. The official telling them to kick it free, and they do just that. The Swedes try to backhand it out, and eventually it goes into the neutral zone. Lambert to Grätton. Grätton gets it over to the far side. Loveson. The Canadians with this slow build-up, which really hasn't gone anywhere. Some good forechecking and checking in the neutral zone by the Swedes, and back come the Canadians. Still, they don't get past the red line. The Swedes fired all the way back in. Loveson now. Loveson as number 28. Schlegel puts in some interference, going back. Forsland trying to marry three in front, and Lambert couldn't get the shot away. Some good defensive work right in front. That one's in front, and it bobbles high. Grätton in the corner. Grätton now. Grätton has Lambert along with Boisvert. Still it's the Canadians putting on the pressure but not getting the shots away. All around the net. Lambert still out there. He's been out there for a long time. Pushed back by Levin. Boisvert. Still a power play situation for Canada. The Swedes with a man in the penalty box set it up right in front, and that shot was just wide of the target. Boisvert took the shot. The goalie was there.
Grätton and Boisvert, nice piece of pass work there as he hit him in the off slot. Boisvert unlucky there. Nice save by the goaltender.
Some good work by Sweden killing off this penalty. Dulles all the way around to the far side, and Sweden come back now. It's a 2-on-3 break. The drop pass. They can't get the shot away. Huss flips an easy one that is eventually controlled by Skordensky. So the early power, the early pressure going to the Canadians here in the first period. Still no score.
Well, the Swedish defense held up well. They stayed right on their blue line, and the Canadians have got to create more movement with those forwards to get that puck in the zone and set it up.
Strömvall out there on the right wing. Keep your eye on him. He's been around a while, and he's capable of putting the puck in the net. Brost. Orlin. Strubi. Leaving it for number 7, Selmer Orlin. Spent some time with Edmonton. Still the Canadians in possession, and they've had most of the possession here in the first period. Early days yet. Number 34, Carlson, is brought to the ice. Well, not a pretty sight if you're watching ice hockey for the first time. That's the kind of thing you can expect to see. Lots of cuts, lots of bruises.
And if it isn't a mouth guard that the player is sitting on the bench playing with, it might very well be his teeth.
They do have a tendency to take them out before the game. Number 16, Тодд Stroubi, goes in the penalty box for bringing down Carlson. So he'll spend 2 minutes in there. Now the power play switches sides to Sweden, and they're on the attack. Some good defensive work there by Schlegel. Face off. The official blew that one down, and it'll be just outside the blue line. We are live here from the Soviet Union. The Izvestia tournament started way back in 1967. Izvestia, which means news, the trophy presented by the Izvestia newspaper, and this tournament has been a big pre-Christmas success since it started, as I said, back in 1967. The Canadians have won it 17 times. The Czechs have managed 4 wins. The Canadians only 1. And Sweden here are looking for their first victory. They've got the power play right now. Neither team getting any real attack. Still early days. Buer in the corner. Pushes it over to Kombach. Oh, they can't get the shot away. Lambert, who's out there now killing penalties. Kombach mixing it up. Still, it's not out. Bodies flying all over the place. Svensson has lots of time. The Canadians set up that box. Svensson getting no pressure at all. Svensson now winds up, takes the shot, and that's kicked away. The bouncing puck right in front of the net. It's loose. And eventually, the goaltender, Warren Skoretsky, puts his glove on it, and that was right in front of the net.
Warren Skorodensky was very alert here. The big shot from Svensson at the point makes a great kick save, and he's bouncing all over to find that puck. He knows he's in trouble, comes up with it in the end. Good play by the defense to take that forward out as well.
So the Swedes showing that they're not overawed by the number of NHL players on the Canadian side, putting on the pressure here in the first period. Still no score. Lots of ice hockey to come. It's going to be a great week here on Eurosport. Odelin fires it all the way down. Eriksson. Now the Swedes coming up strong. Faking the long shot, pushes it into the corner. The goaltender goes back for it, takes no chances. You can see that there were 3 Swedish players there first.
What you probably got there is a Swedish player with a nick in his blade, which means he's lost an edge. He might be frequently falling when he cuts one way or the other. What they do is run a stone along the edge of that to try and get the burr out of the edge of the blade.
Of course, their skates are well sharpened before the game and sometimes between the periods. But every once in a while, they have to get that stone out and rub it along the edge. Rupe plays for Färjestad. Eriksson gets it over to the far side. Sweden now with possibly the best opportunity of the game. A long shot wide of the target. Oling puts it in the corner. Number 19. Rupe plays for Färjestad, tries to get out front, a weak shot. Oling. Another one bouncing all around the Canadian slot area. Still Sweden. Canadians with that box, trying to tie up the man, number 19. Brost doing a good job. Eventually it comes out. The Canadians now with number 12, Lambert. Eriksson. Pace picking up a little as they work it around both nets. The Swedes starting to get a bit physical. They realize that they have to push, bump and grind against the Canadians to get anywhere at all.
That's right. Aggressive forechecking is going to be a big key to their success. Get right on the Canadian defense and force them. A little bit of crowd reaction there. The Canadian player got in there first to touch it and create an offside call.
Well, once again, the organist gets into the swing of things. Still no score here in the first period. The Canadians playing from right to left. It's live ice hockey action from Moscow. The organist, of course, has to stop, thank goodness, when the play starts. I do like the organ music, but I have a feeling it's going to grind from time to time. Two-line pass. Official blowing that one down, so we'll have another face-off. Both teams, Richard, have yet to settle.
Oh, that's right. As you can see what the Canadians are trying to do. The Swedes are forechecking them tenaciously at this point. The Canadians are trying to keep the forwards out a bit higher and open up this game a little bit. Go for the longer passes, and they've been caught for a couple offsides, but one of them's bound to click.
Grant Martin in the face-off. Sandstrom back to the defense. Janssen gets it over. Loose puck in the corner, and again the goaltender comes out. Skorodensky taking no chances out there.
That's twice that he's gone way out of his net, behind the goal line, over toward the corner and covered the puck. I would have to think that he's going to be getting a warning from the referee soon about doing that, and the warning would mean don't do it again or you'll pick up a delay of game penalty.
It's the kind of thing you see youngsters doing, and maybe he's just a bit nervous. Maybe he's been told to do that. I don't know. Usually a goaltender will try to stick handle over that puck or flip it around, bounce it off the boards, whatever. Maybe he's hoping this will spur his defenseman to get back in time.
Oh, quite possibly. He could be thinking if he takes the face off and let his team think about it, they can settle themselves a little better.
Grätton getting it up to Hadju. Hadju pushes it round and then takes a check-in on the boards. 4 Swedes back in one corner. Not good positional play, but they're certainly getting back. Sweden now on the attack. Coming in on the backhand side, and a good save. A good save by the goaltender. Right in front again, and another shot. The puck is loose, and again the goaltender's down. He's lost it completely, and the official was on the other side of the goaltender, so he lost sight of it. But that puck wasn't really held, was it?
No, I think the referee had lost sight of it, but the fans and the people watching television could see it. It was still loose. Very good work from Stomval and Husss on that play.
Skorodensky, the goaltender between the Canadian pipes there, earning his money here in the first period. And the Canadians do really go through a grueling schedule. This is the national team, and they started playing back in September, and they finish in April, a total of 75 plus games, and they travel everywhere from Davos, Switzerland, to Alaska, to BC in Canada, here in the Soviet Union. Good save there from the goaltender. Nemeth got some wood on that. Grейвз couldn't control that, and back comes Sweden. So the Canadians have played 25 games so far in their build-up to this tournament. As that one goes into the neutral zone, and back comes Canada. 2-on-1, and a shot. Schreiber on the other side couldn't get the rebound as Nemeth took that shot.
Well, he waited a bit too long. He kept getting closer and closer to the goal. The defenseman had positioned himself well enough that he didn't make it easy for him to slide that pass over to the other forward. He ended up shooting, and the goalie had a lot of angle cut down. There you see the play had broken down with 3 Swedes getting caught in. Nemeth comes down the ice, makes a shot, he's waiting, then he has to shoot.
Still no score here in the first period. The Canadians with the face-off. Getting it back to the point. Dulles. They can't keep it in. Into the neutral zone now. Sweden on the attack. A shot right on the pads, right on the target. Skorodensky came out. You can see him way outside his crease, cut down the angle nicely and smothered it.
The Swedes are very good on 3-on-2 situations. They really move the puck well. They really come down the ice. Nice drop passes. There's some good experience, and you can see some of these players have played together before. There's a good crop here from Djurgården, Barjestad, Frölunda. There's some good players out here that play in the top league in Sweden. So
from the face-off, back to the point, not away, and again, a shot, kicked away. Oh, and once again, the net is wide open and they can't get that shot away. Oling was there, but he couldn't spin around and put it in the net. The Canadians pressing the Swedes against the woodwork. Swedes still so aggressive in the corners, surprising a lot of people, I think. Canadians now coming back, head manning the puck. Strubi taken out, puck is out into the neutral zone now, and we're going to have a penalty on the play. Holding is the call. Third penalty of the period, and the second one going to the Canadians.
Strubi not happy about that call as he was tied up with the player and they both seemed to be going for the puck. The Swedish player went down and Strubi picked up the holding call.
So the Canadians with a man in the penalty box. As the goaltender comes out, this time he bounces it off the woodwork. Still not away, going for it. Loveson fires that one around, and that goes all the way down the ice. And the Swedes will go back and regroup. Sweden now flipping it in. Loveson can't get a piece of that, and the Canadians with lots of time to fire that one all the way down the ice. Good pass up. Eriksson. Sandstrom pinned to the boards. Grейвз doing a good job out there with number 7, Orlin. Still the Canadians with that box situation. Bouncing, tipped away, and Canada gets a piece of it, fires it all the way down. Aslan all the way up to the blue line, deflected in. No real pressure yet from the Swedes on this power play situation. Dew taking his time, trying to get something going. Flipped in. Eriksson. Still it's Sweden. Андерс Хусс has a lot of time. Did he score? Well, he backhanded that shot. No one came to pick it up. Johan Strömball got a piece of it right in front of the net. A power play goal. And the Swedes take an early lead here in the first period.
As you see the replay, the puck went around behind the net. Forward kept skating with it, kept going. 2 Canadians went for him, left an opening. There's Strömball all alone.
So Sweden first on the scoreboard here in the Olympic Ice Hall in Moscow. 1-0. Power play goal coming from number 14, Strömball. And again, the Swedes are on the attack. Anderson getting it back. A long shot is deflected just wide. And again, the net, the corner of the net wide open. The Canadians are in all sorts of difficulty as that deflects out of play, and we'll have a face-off just outside the blue line.
One thing to note, Skorodensky's going to have to be very careful back there as those puck boards are lively. That board in the back at the end of the barrier is really lively, and the puck is really coming out in front of that net quickly after it hits the back boards.
Well, it may not be the kind of situation he's used to, but he certainly had enough shots off the backboards, and by the second period, I'm sure he'll get the feel for it. If he doesn't, they're going to have to do something about it. The Canadians now. Brost. Canada trying to get something going here in the first period. The break is on. Offside is a call, and a great save by the goaltender. The whistle had gone. Offside the call. Let's look at this again. The whistle had already gone, so it wouldn't have counted had it gone in. The Canadians, just as I said, they were hoping to string something together, put together that nice pass, just a step offside. Dave King having a few words with the official, I'm sure.
Very clearly said, wake up out there.
Well, no matter what they do, the officials are never right in any sport. It's not a job I would like to do. I'm the first to admit it. Eriksson dropping it back. So the Swedes right now brimming with confidence, looking aggressive, looking tough as they attack with BR Rupe against the boards, and the Canadians content just to hold it, but the official not happy to blow the whistle. Victorson, still it's Sweden now, Canada dumping it out into the neutral zone, nobody there at all as Victorson goes back for it, being shadowed by Nemeth. Grейвз is out there, a cheeky little drop pass now, and that would have been nice. Still lost in a skate, and that backhand shot by number 27, Eriksson, went wide. Nobody went to pick him up, and the Canadians having all sorts of difficulty out there in front of their own net. A shot right on the goal by Boisvert, and the Canadians looking disorganized, whereas the Swedes are looking polished, calm and cool and confident.
The Swedes are moving the puck around very nicely. Some great drop passes, and they're getting nice shots at the goal, whereas the Canadians seem to be a bit flustered here. They're very unorganized. They're skating on top of each other. They're not spread out and opening this game up at all.
Still lots of ice hockey to go. We're here in the first period. Sweden 1, Canada 0. It's live action here on Eurosport. We have a whole week of ice hockey lined up for you. The Izvestia tournament coming to you live. And the Canadians now in the face-off. Back to the point. The Swedes coming up with the puck into the neutral zone. And not a good clearance there by Canada as the whistle blows on the offside call. And we get a shot of a very thirsty Canadian. Richard Hadju taking a well-deserved break and drink. Janssen. Poudrier. Odelin. Aslan leaving it for his defender. Thomas Porcelain. The Swedes. A long shot from a sharp angle was high, and there seems to be, Richard, there seems to be a lot of snow in front of that net. There seems to be a lot of snow on the ice, actually, and that could be making it difficult for both teams to really control that puck.
This ice does seem to be a bit choppy. If you're also noticing a lot of bouncing pucks. A couple of the offsides calls were because the puck was bouncing and it hit a skate and hit a stick, but it seems to be bouncing terribly out there. I think the ice is a bit choppy, Paul.
Well, it'll affect both teams. So neither team can go into the dressing room and say, hey, the ice isn't very good, because both teams are playing on it, so they both have to put up with whatever's out there. It does look a bit rough, look a bit choppy. Hadju brought to the ice, number 27, Grätton comes up with it. Hadju now stops, trying to get by number 34, Carlson, having lots of problems. And we're going to have another face-off on the plate. The officials calling this rather close out there. European officials have a tendency to let very little go.
Well, that's true. They don't want to see anything break out, so they try to get right on the high sticks and holding away from the play.
Richard, that was a penalty and no one knew it. Obviously, I mean, most people don't feel they're guilty when they're guilty, but really, I mean, that happened and nobody knew it. They all stayed on the ice.
You can see Lars Carlson, who was the culprit there, kind of shaking his head like, well, what did I do? Where did it happen? Explain it to me.
I'd like to explain it to you, but I didn't see anything either, so we'll leave that one down to the referee. We could be ready for 3 blind mice any moment. Danny Grätton here on the power play, a chance for the Canadians to level the score. That one goes all the way down the ice. No icing call, of course, because the Swedes are a man short. The puck trapped under the Swedish player, so we'll have a face-off. And it really is stop-start action as Tommy Sandelin makes notes. And the European coaches have a tendency to do that, don't they? They have their bits of paper, they have their stopwatches timing the players on the ice. That's something that really is foreign to American and Canadian hockey players.
Oh, that's right. They take it very serious. As the coach is watching Anders Husss there, who's done a lot of forechecking. He's a very aggressive forechecker, and he works all the time out there.
So there's the score. We're live from Moscow. Sweden 1, Canada 0, and the Canadians now in a power play situation. Offside the call. No real fire in the Canadians' attack just yet. Seems to be going through the motions. Still lots of ice hockey to go. Still a week of ice hockey to go, but you really have to win every game if you want to be there in the end.
This is true, and the Canadians are being put under a lot of pressure in their own zone, but once they do move the puck out, they seem to be flat in that neutral ice area, and they're not creating movement. The Swedes are just standing them up on the blue line. They're not really attacking the zone at all.
Greyvs with Nemeth out there on the power play. Greyvs, who plays in Finland. Turku, one of the top teams in the Finnish league. A long pass out to the blue line. They have to start all over again, and back comes Canada now. Greyvs working his way on the left wing. Steered out of the play. Jonsson doing some good defensive work as he eventually pushes himself out of the play, but it's not out. Into the corner now, Nemeth. Nemeth across, a shot right in front, coming in on Nemeth, fanned on the shot. Nemeth had an open net there right in front. The goaltender was down, and he fanned on the bobbling puck.
Once again, a lot of bouncing pucks, and unlucky situation there for Nemeth as the puck didn't bounce his way. He had an open net.
Still, it's the Canadians with the power play. Lievens now. Lievens pushes it to the corner. Back to Lievens. Lievens number 2. Lievens looking for something to do. It takes an easy shot, and the goaltender got his pads to that, and that's lifted high into the neutral zone, and the Canadians will have to regroup. Schlegel gets it over to Lievens, but he doesn't want to stay on the ice, and Schlegel gets it back. Schlegel now, still a power play situation as Canada comes back. Weber right in front. Schreiber was there, back to the point. Oh, and that one is tipped wide. The goaltender on the far post. Some good work out there. Right in front again, and number 8, Schreiber, couldn't put a handle on it. So the Canadians missing several opportunities there. The Swedes now back on the attack, and it's getting rough along the boards.
Oh, Schreiber and Bover did everything but put the puck in the net there.
This is excellent ice hockey. Both teams starting to pick it up a gear, starting to get into the meaning of the game. This is a tournament, one of the top tournaments in the world, coming from the Soviet Union. The Izvestia tournament every year for the past 22 years, just before Christmas. Now it's Sweden getting it back. The shot just wide of the target, and Canada punch it into the neutral zone. The Swedes golf at it as Oling saw that one go high, and we'll have a face-off.
Once again, you can see what that forechecking will do for you. The Swedes hitting the defense all over the ice. First man takes the body, second man takes the puck, and it's working. The Swedes are getting nice shots at the goal. Canadian forwards are going to have to come in deeper and help that defense get that puck out.
Textbook ice hockey from Sweden. Brost in the face-off, getting it back. The Canadians losing it again in the neutral zone. Sweden do a lot of dumping and running. That's the kind of thing we see in the NHL. The guys punch it in from the neutral zone. Lievens takes it around the boards, lose it out now. Sweden back on the attack. Lambert holding on to his man. Still it's Sweden. Lievens, and they're not getting the handle on that puck. They're pushing it, but it's not flowing as smoothly as they'd like it. Johansson flips it into the neutral zone. Husss head manning it, and again they fan on it. Lots of snow on the ice now. They'll be glad when the whistle blows to end the period. Strubi chops at the goaltender. He's down, well out of position, but the puck is going the other way. Yes, they'll welcome this break. Coming in, the shot, that's wide. The rebound is trickled right across the goal mouth by Johansson. And the goaltender watched it go, and the Canadians back on the attack. Still, it's Sweden. A long shot, high by Husss. Wide of the target, could have done better. Sweden breaking everything down in the neutral zone.
That's right, as the Swedes, once they get control of that puck, they're making some great passes, really turning the Canadian defensemen around.
Canadians right now just happy to keep it out of their zone. Both teams changing on the fly, and they'll have a face-off in the neutral zone.
Well, I'm sure at the end of this period, Dave King is going to have a word with his team about breaking out, trying to get the better of that Swedish attack as they're really forechecking him.
The Swedes have come out flying here in this first period. They lead 1-0. The Canadians have had their chances. Janssen, a long pass, offside, delay. Still a delayed offside. As you can see, the official's arm is up. They won't blow it unless the Canadians touch it. Now the Canadians touch it, but it's outside the blue line. Dulles. There goes the whistle to end the first period. The score is Sweden 1, Canada 0. We're going to take a break now. We'll be right back in a moment with more ice hockey action. This game in the Izvestia tournament between Sweden and Canada. Sweden with a goal from Strömvall, number 14 in the first period, lead 1-0, and the Canadians, well, they've had a lot of problems in their own end, Richard.
Well, maybe they're trying to get the kinks out from that long trip. They've got international ice hockey surface that they're playing on. I don't know what they're attributed to, but I know that the Swedes are very organized and played a very nice first period.
Let's take a look at the Swedes on the attack. The first goal coming up. There it is. The goaltender slides across. Strömvall gets it right underneath him, and that's the only goal of the game. Confirmation of the score then. Sweden leading by 1-0. The Swedes now playing in the yellow jerseys from right to left. They've been tenacious, they've been aggressive, played some good hockey, and they've kept the puck away from Peter Aslan, their goaltender. He hasn't had a lot of work to do. At the other end, Warren Skorodensky, on the other hand, has been very busy indeed.
He's been tested quite a few times early, and as you're saying, Aslan's biggest pressure has just been long shots. The Canadians have not really penetrated him and hit for many rebounds.
Well, as they do before just about every hockey game around the world, they go back, they give the goaltender a word of confidence, pat him on the pads. Some players go back and they touch each pipe and a crossbar, whatever. They all have their little superstitions, don't they?
Everybody does their own thing. Personally, I like to just touch the goalie's glove with my glove and skate away, not say a word.
Some guys won't even go back there at all. Very superstitious sportsmen, especially in ice hockey, I found over the years. And they stick with it throughout the season if it's going well. But as soon as it doesn't go well for them, they change. Here we go with the Canadians now on the attack. What has Dave King been able to say to them to try and improve their game? Eriksson behind the net. He's got Johansson curling on the right wing. Johansson calling for it. He's got it now at center. Breaking in, leaving it. Oh, a nice play. You can see the way they cut right into the slot. Sandstrom was there, a long shot. They do have a tendency to cross over, try to get the defenseman moving laterally and try to get them confused. Nemeth goes into the corner, still holding his man, but the Swedes come up with it once again. Now it's Canada. Blaisdell backhanding it into the neutral zone. This game coming live from the Soviet Union. The Izvestia tournament is well and truly underway.
Your top European teams are so good at skating away from the puck and forcing things to happen as they use the ice to their advantage. They make a lot of crosses, a lot of cutbacks, nice drop passes, and you always see legs moving away from the play. And that's what creates the flow.
Brost gets it across the ice. The Canadians fire it in. Way offside. Number 12, Lane Lambert, caught about 3 or 4 feet over the blue line. And for those of you watching for the first time, the offside is called when a player precedes the puck over the blue line. The attacking team must push the puck over the blue line first, then the players follow. 1-0 the score. The goal came in the first period. We're in the second period now. The Canadians on the attack. Loveson shoots it in. The Canadians pick it up on the far side, but Janssen gets to it first. Janssen, a long pass. You could see what he was trying to do there. And once again, Warren Skorodensky comes out and smothers it.
Janssen's so smooth at getting that puck out of his end, and he's very lethal with the passes he can make to those forwards breaking. Got a lot of experience in the NHL with the New York Islanders, and he's been around a while. He's definitely a playmaker.
The Swedes, made up of ex-professionals, students, bankers, whatever, as are the Canadians. A lot of Canadians played in the NHL. Some now are settling down to other careers, but have taken time out to work on the Canadian national team. And as I said before, they play one heck of a busy schedule. 75 games this year. They've already played 25. Now, the Canadians, Strumball was knocked down, and on the attack, Levens couldn't do much with it. Lane Lambert forechecking, trying to bring his man down with the stick. And the Swedes with still a lot of room to move that puck around. Todd Brost doing a good job of back-checking. Play a bit sloppy here as we get the second period underway. The ice, you can see already, is chipping. It must be really, really cold out there, because it is breaking up as soon as the players get out on it. You can see all that white snow building up, white loose chippings of ice. Held against the boards, the official telling them to kick it free. Levens, as they mix it up along the boards, and again, it starts to get rough and tough. The stick's going up a bit. There's confirmation of the score once again. Sweden 1, Canada 0. Right in front, and the goaltender scooped that away. Bobby Dolas crashed into the crossbar, but appears to be okay. Sweden tossing, turning, putting on the pressure. Canada now. Martin. Schreiber working his way in, gets it over onto the left wing. He's got Boisvert. Boisvert's got it right in front. Boisvert, and he couldn't get it over the goaltender. It's loose. And again, the shot. Again, they're freeing up. The goaltender is down, and it's loose. This time, it's shot away by Aslan. The puck was all around the goal, and they just couldn't get it high enough to put it over the goaltender. They had so many opportunities. Your hands are in the air, Richard. What do you think of that?
Schreiber and Boisvert, that is twice. The first period, they had the same situation where they were all over the place and couldn't score. Here they are again. One chance, two chances. There's the puck. It's still loose. They're hacking and whacking at it. Around the net. Boisvert goes around the net with the puck again. Number 28 gets in there on it. He's Schlegel. He's trying to make something happen. They're all over the place and just can't buy a goal.
Well, the delayed whistle there was for the penalty to Thomas Buer. He'll spend a couple of minutes in the box. It'll be a power play for the Canadians. A lot of action around Aslan here in the early stages of the second period.
Well, that penalty was surely out of desperation because they were just really in a lot of trouble back there around that goal.
Gretchen, Graves, Lane Lambert will do the honors for the Canadians. As the Swedes will try to fight off 2 minutes. Canadians having difficulty pushing that puck around. Graves all the way down the ice and back for it. Steve Nemeth up onto the left wing. A long pass, a nice one just over the blue line. A good move by Aslan. pushed out and brought in just on the offside call. Power play situation for Canada. Buer in the penalty box. During that melee, that scramble around the Swedish net.
Well, like you say, the puck's been bouncing. They've had opportunities. I think things will happen here. As soon as they get one goal, things will open up and they'll start falling.
Still going with Grätton's line here on the power play. The Canadians with Nemeth. Nemeth again. Some good forechecking from the Swedes. You can see them. They're coming right forward. Not worrying about having a man short. Levens. And again, it's Sweden on the attack. Putting all sorts of pressure on Canada, not allowing them to get organized at all. Levens having problems getting out of his own end. Gets it up on the wing to Lambert. Lambert drops it back to Levens, gets it over on the far side. Canada taking too long to get that over. They faked a shot, put it in, but it was too late. It was an offside call. No real fire, no real spark from the Canadians on this power play as both teams changed their lines.
I think we called that one right before the game started when we said we thought the Swedish forwards would be quick and aggressive, and they really are. They are forechecking all over that ice. We can't thrive on it enough here, making things very difficult for the Canadian defensemen.
Martin eventually gets it back. Schlegel. Loveson takes it over. Martin over the far side. Loveson calling for it. Still, it's Canada with the power play. Back to the point. Push back in the corner. No real shooting opportunities yet. An aggressive penalty-killing squad out there. Boisvert. That is backed behind the net, pushed back by the goaltender, bounces off the back of the net, and eventually Sweden dumping into the neutral zone. Some good forechecking there by Mikael Johansson. Back comes Canada. Schreiber on the left wing as the whistle goes, and we'll have another face-off. Still no real purpose as Dave King changes his line yet again in an attempt to get something going here in the second period. The Canadians trail by 1-0. Sweden with that goal from number 14, Sternvall, in the first period. The Soviets will be looking for their 18th win of the tournament. The Czechs their 5th, and the Canadians their 2nd. The Swedes would like to win one. They've been here several times, but the best performance from them is the 2nd place they got in 1988. Svensson takes the shot along the boards. Now it's Sweden, and right in front, and the goaltender has to come up with the save as Sternvall was in there with 3 Canadians on him. And what are the Canadians going through right now? They can't seem to mount an attacking power play at all.
Well, in that particular play, there were 3 people and Stromvall, and they were all looking for the puck, and it was just between another skate. Stromvall almost ended up getting a shot off. It was just tied up at the last minute and allowed Skordensky to tie that puck up.
So the Swedes happy to flip it in behind the net. Levens punches that one around. That's going to go all the way down. Stromvall being shadowed by number 14, Hadju. Stromvall will take all the time in the world out there. He's trying to kill off this penalty. And the Swedes doing a great job of that. Canada now running into all sorts of pressure. 3 Swedes there. Remember, they only have 4 plus a goalie out there on the ice. And look at the pressure the Canadians are under. Some great hockey from Sweden right now. Leveson, Husss in the corner. Canada flipping it out into the neutral zone. Eventually it goes all the way down the ice. Going back for it. Sweden touches it. And that's an offside, or an icing call. And for those of you who aren't familiar, just quickly, the icing call is whistled down when the puck is shot from one side of the red line all the way down the ice without anyone touching it. You can, of course, ice the puck when you have a man in the penalty box.
That's right, and as you noticed, the icing call was out of desperation just to get the puck out of the zone again. A man that I'm very impressed with at this point is Anders Husss, number 26. He is a great forechecker. He is all over the ice.
Bobby Dallas got it up on the wing, too far for anyone. Stillman into the neutral zone. Now Sweden on the attacks, the 3-on-2 break. Eventually Canada gets back into the defensive zone. Now Canada with 3 men forward. Lambert getting it up to Grейвз. Too far, couldn't be controlled there. And the ice chipping up once again. Buer, Canada still in trouble. Schlegel, Lambert, back to the blue line, dropping it back. There's no one there at all. A sloppy pass as they were caught changing on the fly. Well, I'm afraid the Soviet cameraman would rather show us the Canadians changing than that break. Aslan dumps it forward. Some good goaltending at both ends. Nemeth now getting it back to the defense. This is live from Moscow here in the second period. There's confirmation of the score. 1-0 for Sweden. And Sweden is playing one heck of a game. Not letting the Canadians get organized, get set on that attack, and we'll have another call for icing.
Well, the play broke down there, and they're just trying to get the complete line change, and nobody was there to pick up that pass, and it went for icing.
There is, of course, a knack to changing your lines. You don't do it when they're on the break, do you?
No, you're always told to change on the fly when the puck is in your offensive zone. Do not change when it's in your defensive zone and put your team at risk of being shorthanded.
Viktorsson. Swedes punching it back in. Nemeth wants it. A weak shot. Bobbles off his skate. Viktorsson again doing a great job with Oling. Viktorsson and Oling on this line. Some tenacious forechecking, and back come the Canadians. A break is on now. Right to Aslan. And a clever move by him as he comes out. And number 17, Steve Grейвз, really didn't have a chance to pick it up. He put his arms up to say that he was sorry he hit the goaltender. It wasn't intentional. But that's the kind of thing they have to go for.
At this point, the aggression isn't going to hurt. You do not go in and charge the goalie, but hard hockey, and he was just going for that rebound. So the face-off in the Swedish defensive zone here in the second period. 1-0 the score. This is live ice hockey from the Soviet Union. The Izvestia tournament, we'll be showing it all week long here on Eurosport. Some great games coming up, and we've got a great game right here. Levens, a backhand, a weak one. Aslan kicks that away, makes a meal of it. Into the corner. Martin around to the far side. Schreiber trying to work it out. Aslan got a piece of that one. It's still loose in the corner. Forsland out to the blue line, and he's hammered into the woodwork, but he gets the pass away all the way to the far side of the ice, and the Canadians come up with it. Levens takes it in over the blue line, but again we have an offside call. That line that has Wally Schreiber and Serge Boswell playing together. They've done everything once again. We've said it a couple of times, but score goals. They're really still working hard, and if it's going to happen, it's bound to happen to them. They've really worked hard to just not come up with a goal yet.
Who knows, one goal here could open the floodgates, but I doubt it. These teams are so evenly matched. Some excellent goaltending for both sides. Aslan comes out, does what a goalie has to do when that puck whizzes behind the net. Pushed up to the blue line, but not out. Everyone taking their man now. I think the Canadians have been told to start to get physical, follow through on those checks. Coming in now, and that shot by Sandstrom just wide of the far post. Making something out of nothing there, the Swedish player. All the way down the ice, going back for it, the Canadian. Schreiber held under his skates. Schreiber kicking it free now. Again, it's pushed into the corner. All the way out for it, and the race is on. Johansson and Brost collide. Svensson delayed that move just by a second, and offside was a call.
Yeah, he should have pushed that puck just over the blue line. He was a stride back and threw his right winger offside.
So both teams changing once again. They'll do it every 30, 45 seconds. It is so fast out there. It's been a fast, physical game, and the Swedish supporters enjoying every minute of it. Back to the live action here in Moscow. On the attack, Canada. They've got two men in front of the net, and they can't get that pass over. Strubi, Lambert pushed out of the play, and back comes Sweden. Strömball, he's hit by Lambert. Stillman gets it up. Sweden now. They love to use that drop pass, the swing across. It comes in, well, I'd say half a dozen times a period. Held against the boards, but eventually the Swedes come up with it. Sternball behind the net. He's dangerous, gets it right out front. A nice pass, and Lambert bounces that one off the boards. Some anxious moments there for Dave King as he looks on, the Canadian coach. He's seen it all before. He knows just what to do, but he can't do it out on the ice. The players have got to do it for them, and back come the Canadians. Getting sloppy along the boards as Lambert brings it in and pushes it in. Both teams changing on the fly. Anderson taking a bit too long at the blue line. And Canada now coming down on the left wing. Right out front. Hadju was there. Number 21, Huru, hasn't seen a lot of action. Was waiting in front of the net, but the pass didn't come off. That's going all the way down the ice, and icing will be the call. Poudre touches it, and there goes the whistle.
Well, the Swedes were just looking to get a line change out of that one as well. Canadians had just changed, had a little bit of pressure on. Get the puck out of the zone, take the face off, regroup. The Oregon player is sure enjoying himself. Maybe he has to keep playing to keep his fingers warm because it appears to be a little cold in there. I see a lot of ski jackets and some fur hats on.
I think you're right. I think that there is a bit of a nip in the air. The ice again chipping. You can see the snow as it breaks up out there. Very cold indeed. Now, Sweden trying to bring it out of their own zone. There's the time remaining. 11:55. Coming up to the 12-minute mark. Periods, of course, are 20 minutes long. So we've got 8 minutes to go here in the second period. A nice move by the Swedish defenseman. Of course, we should emphasize that that's 8 minutes of playing time in ice hockey. Whenever the play stops, the clock stops. Skorodensky has had his hands full in both periods. In the first period, Canadians well and truly outshot. The Swedes looking very, very aggressive indeed. And it really hasn't mattered whether they've been short-handed or not. They've gone forward, teaching the Canadians a lesson in forechecking, that's for sure. But this game is far from over. Still a lot of ice hockey to go. It's Canada now. Blaisdell taken out of the play. Svensson looking for someone to pass to. No one to pick it up. Oling pushes it behind the net. Loveson pins his man to the boards, but again, Sternball couldn't get a handle on that. He was right out front. Sternball again, and again the shot couldn't come off. Svensson pushes that back into the corner. And this time the young goaltender, Skorodensky, with Rupe right on his back, comes up with the save.
Magnus Roop, a tough man to move out of the front of that net, and he may have learned a little bit of that from playing with Philadelphia for a while. They're usually an aggressive team who hold their ground.
Teams getting set for this face-off. To the right of the goaltender as he looks down the ice, and the official wants them out of that circle. The wingers are supposed to be outside the circle that surrounds the face-off circle. Swedes with the puck in the neutral zone. Stillman getting it over to the far side. Stillman again. Always moving, the Swedes, always circling, no one being caught flat-footed. Right in front, Forsland calling for it. Forsland now has the puck. Taken out nicely by Boisvert. Eriksson. Not a pleasant sight indeed. The mouth guard coming out as the Canadian watches the game in progress. We are live from the Soviet Union, the Izvestia Cup. The Swedes in the lead by 1-0 here in the second period. The Canadians on the attack. That's deflected down the ice, and they have to go back and regroup. Offside, the call. And again, we'll have another face-off. And a lot of the pattern, a lot of the flow of the first period has gone out in this second period. It's not there, is it?
The play has changed definitely from the first period. Both teams seem to be opening it up. Now they seem to be content with trying to dump the puck in, and they're tying each other up away from the play.
Well, traditionally, that's the style of play that the Canadians like. They fire it in once they get over that red line, and then kick it up in the opponent's end. A long shot right on the target. Aslan puts that off the plexi. Still, it's not out. The Canadians now. Strube. Brost, the far side, the shot wide of the net. And they're not getting many shots on the target here in the second period. That one is deflected high. And again, we'll have another face-off. So the play changing from end to end, but no real serious scoring chances.
No, to me, the Swedes still look a little bit quicker on the puck. They seem to be trying to make more happen, but both teams are playing pretty evenly at the moment. The neutral ice play, their own blue line, it's all about the same right now. Neither team applying a real lot of pressure.
Schlegel getting it over to the far side. Aslan waiting for the shot that didn't come. Now it's behind the net. Eriksson flipped up into the center ice zone. Buer looking for someone out front. A weak shot eventually trickles into the corner. We're past the 15-minute mark here in the second period. Sweden 1, Canada 0. Strube, deflection high and out of harm's way, but Aslan was there waiting.
Good play by the defenseman. He just took the angle away from Strube, who tried to take a long wrist shot.
Both teams changing their lines. The Swedes looking fit, looking confident, looking happy about their performance so far.
Yeah, they seem very confident to me at this point. They've come out, they're really putting their game together. They're moving the puck around really well, and it's early in this tournament yet. I think there's a lot to see in this Swedish team yet.
The weak shot was from Lovson, picked up by number 8, Svensson, coming back on the attack. Fires that one into the corner. The goaltender pushes it by his own player. Lovson out there trying to do something along the boards. Lovson now to the far wing. Hadju being tied up along the woodwork and eventually calls for a face-off. And it really is start-stop action out there. There's no real set pattern to the play here in the second period. A lot of the steam has gone out of both sides. They came out fast in the first period. And I, for one, thought there would be a lot more scoring in the second period than there hasn't been any scoring at all.
Yeah, we did predict that they would open it up a little bit, and both teams have had their moments, but with that puck bouncing around a lot of passes that maybe would have been or should have been haven't come off cleanly. The thought's been there, and I think they will start falling together for both teams eventually.
Eriksson pushes it in to Rupp. Canadians with their defense out there. Pudrier into the neutral zone. Sweden eventually comes up with it, and again it's a bouncing puck, a deflection right on the target. Not a difficult shot. Rupp. Again, 2-on-2. The Canadians right across, and the shot coming from Boisvert, wide of the target again, and Canada just not able to hit that net. Pushed all the way down the ice as both teams change on the fly, and we'll have another icing call.
Once again, Wally Schreiber and Serge Boisvert just failing to connect. These two guys are really working hard. They're playing a good game, and I think it's going to happen eventually. We keep saying that. They're really putting the pressure on, playing nicely together, and their third line mate, Grant Martin, is doing a nice job as well, feeding them.
1-0 the score here in the second period. Sweden in the lead on that goal from Strömball, number 14 in the first period. The Canadians, Forsland checked in front, but eventually Sweden come up with it. Sweden putting everyone forward. Odelin from Canada falls down, pushed right out front. No one there to pick it up. Now Canada on the attack. Grейвз calling for it. Grейвз can't get it. Forsland now on his own. Forsland working his way in. Behind the net's going to try to scoop that one in, and he gets it round, but the goaltender, Skorodensky, gets his blocker on it, and you can see what he was trying to do there. Circle around the net and just push it through by sheer strength.
It's a good individual effort. He has the puck at the blue line. He puts the puck out wide. He takes Odelin out wide, goes all the way around the net, but Skorodensky played that one nicely. He let him make his move first, and he just went down and covered that post.
Well, the Swedes are happy, but this game is far from over. Strömball out there in the face-off. Brost. Lambert. Brost wins it, and again the goaltender goes back and calls for another face-off.
Well, Skorodensky's doing what he thinks he has to do to try and get this team up. He's covering that puck, take the face-off. Let's get it going, boys.
Canada now getting it as far as the blue line. This time it trickles out. The Swedes come up with it, have to regroup and punch it back in again. Canada having difficulty. Some great forechecking here by Sweden. A long pass to Lambert. A bit of a Hail Mary pass way up in the air, but that was offside.
Very close as well. Lambert was not that far over that center line. Referee had to be right on the play. Both teams are just trying to dump the puck out, get it out of the zone. If they get the center, they're just dumping it in, dump and chase, trying to wear the other team down.
Well, there's another result from the tournament. Czechoslovakia 5, Finland 3. That's the only other match being played today, so the Czechs get their first victory of the tournament, and Canada, Sweden looking for their first also. Right now it's Sweden 1-0 here in the second period. Dolas Can't get it out. And this game right now is being played in the Canadians' end. Swedes all over the ice, not letting the Canadians get organized as they go in on the attack. Lambert wants it. Lambert's got it along the boards, and he's taken out of the play. Still, it's loose. The goaltender deliberately pushes that off the moorings, pushes the net off the moorings.
Well, his stick was caught in the net. His Gatorade bottle popped off the back of the net. There's all kinds of confusion back there. I think finally Skordensky just said, let's have a face-off. I don't care where it is. I want to get things organized.
But of course, that can result in a penalty.
Oh, if the referee sees it that way, it's a total discretionary call. He can give him 2 minutes for that if he wants to.
All sorts of confusion in the Canadian zone. Dave King will need to say something special to get this Canadian side going in the third period. Still in the second here. Grейвз can't control it. Levens, Grейвз again. Grейвз now getting it over to the far side. Loveson. Oh, the last man out was poke checked. Coming in, the shot, a good save. Another good save. And the young goaltender, Skordensky, came up with 2 great saves. And the defenseman made a cardinal error there. The last man coming out in the end does not stick handle out. Let's look at this again.
There you see Jim Levens tries to stick handle around the Swedish forward. You do not do that when you're the last man back. And he gave Paul Anderson a great chance to put Sweden up 2-0. If it wasn't for Warren Skordensky on that one, they'd be 2 goals down right now.
So as we look down the ice, the Canadians change their lines. And look for some inspiration from somewhere. The Swedes are winning this game, and they've controlled this second period. Now Canada on the attack. Here in the second period, and they get as far as the neutral zone, and once again they run into trouble. Canada totally outplayed as they flip it across and come on the attack now. 3 men forward. Schreiber squeezed out of the play nicely by Johnson. Oling along the boards. A long shot, that'll be an offside call. Dulles took it from outside the blue line, but one of his players was trapped well and truly in there, Wally Schreiber. So they'll have a face-off and a change of lines.
Well, both teams are just trying to make something happen, that's all. Dumping it in, chasing it. It's early in the game, it's early in the tournament. It's been pretty good hockey up to this point. Both teams are pretty even.
Canada now, with just 25 seconds remaining here in the second period. Coming on the attack, the Swedes. Sandström, the head fake, flips it around into the corner. Forsland, 10 seconds now remaining. Coming right out front, the loose puck bobbles into the corner, and Canada come up with it. 4 seconds, can they get a shot away before the whistle blows? Loveson, he won't get a shot away. There goes the buzzer to end the second period. Well, not a classic period, no goals scored at all. The first goal came from Sternball in the first period for Sweden, and that's the only goal of the game so far. As I said, not a classic performance by either team. Some great forechecking by the Swedes. Join us for more ice hockey here on Eurosport in a moment. Well, that's how the Swedes and Canadians looked in the World Championships earlier this year. We'll join the third period in a moment to see how they finish when we go live to the Izvestia tournament in Moscow. As you can see, they're already on the ice. Join us in a moment. Back back to live ice hockey on Eurosport. We're coming live, as I said, from the Olympic Hall in the Soviet Union, Moscow to be precise. Sweden against Canada. The Swedes lead by 1-0. They scored it in the first period. We're in the third period now, and the Canadians have a lot of work to do.
Well, this is it. 20 minutes to go. Both teams have got it all to go for right here. It's a 1-0 game. Anything can happen.
We've learned that the Czechs have already beat the Finns 5-3. The score here, 1-0 for Sweden. They've played the better hockey out there for the first two periods, but hockey, of course, is made up of three periods. Anything can happen in this game, the fastest team sport in the world. Back come the Canadians now, playing from right to left. Sweden doing such a good defensive role, or playing such a good defensive role in the neutral zone, not letting the Canadians get organized, and now they're on the attack. Sweden getting that right in front. Oh, the fan on the shot. Holmberg was right there, a shot way outside. Back come the Canadians now. Long shot by Strubi. No danger at all to Aslan. Some sloppy play there by Strömbal. And Janssen goes back for it. Janssen gives it away to Strubi. Strubi behind the net, looking for someone to pass to. He's shadowed by Strömbal. Strömbal is all over him. Still, it's Strubi. Still, Strubi coming around, working his way, and he just can't get a stick on that, can't get the handle on that, and back come the Swedes. Strömbal takes the shot, and that's pushed away. The rebound is lost in his skate, and eventually Canada comes up with it. Strubi again, who's played well throughout this game, up and down the ice. Svensson. Canadian coach Dave King barking out the instructions. Strubi, Poivert. Good defensive work on that shot by Wally Schreiber. The Canadians back to the point. Deflection goes out into the neutral zone. Bobby Dulles got a piece of that, and that's pushed in over the blue line. Svensson. The Canadians now. Dulles to the far side of the ice. Bit of seesaw hockey out there. One team gets it, passes it back into the other's attacking zone. It goes right back in again. Schlegel all the way down to Aslan. Svensson now behind the net. Svensson really did take a slap shot to burn that one all the way across to the far side now. A one-on-one situation. Some good defensive work by Ken Loveson. Still, it's not out. A long shot wide of the net. The Canadians come up with it. Loveson. Levens now. Kick forward. Schreiber. Schreiber along with Grättон. Schreiber, the shot. Still, it's Canada. Still kept in. Eventually, the Swedes push it out into the neutral zone. Loveson. He's got Poivert with him. Pass into the neutral zone and eventually flip down the ice as both teams change on the fly. Danny Grätton. The doors wide open as the teams changing on the go here. Poudre, a long shot wide of the net again. They got to start hitting that net, Richard.
Yeah, a lot of shots are being taken. They're mostly long shots, but nevertheless, they've got to be on the net to score.
Sweden now in control. Coming out, Svensson. You can see what he was trying to do there. Oling right on the blue line. Oling takes a shot from a sharp angle. The rebound comes out. No one there to pick it up, and back come the Canadians. Well, they started out, but they just couldn't keep a handle on it. Now it's a 2-on-1 situation. The Swedes are right in front, and a great save by Skorodensky on Eriksson, who was positioned right in front of the net, and the Swedes now are putting on the pressure here in the third and final period. Another shot coming from Eriksson is kicked away by the goaltender. Canada again in trouble. The big yellow and blue machine are putting on the pressure. It's been hard, it's been clean, it's been fast. And in the second period, it was all Sweden. and it looks like they're going to take control again. Jonsson to the far side. A pass up to Ulf Sandström. Taken out all the way in to the defensive zone of Sweden. Lambert. Stubbe tries to get that in front. Again, Lambert looking for someone to pass to. Stubbe dropping that back, a nice move. This is going to come right out front, right across the goal crease. You can see the goaltender is down. Brost was there, but couldn't put it in the net. Oh, a sloppy pass from the Canadian defenseman. What are they thinking? We're coming up to the 6-minute mark. 1 goal for Sweden, nothing for Canada right now here in the third and final period. A great game of ice hockey. Forsland staying with it. Forsland punches that back behind the net. Loveson now stops. Canada, they're not controlling those passes as Schreiber let that one go, and it goes all the way back. Loveson. Well, offside is the call. You could see that when he took it out over the blue line, then brought it back in again. But the passes from Canada are just not sharp enough. They're not crisp, and they're not containing the ones they do get.
No, they're throwing that puck around the boards, and the wingers aren't on the boards to pick it up. There you see that scoreline again. Sweden 1, Canada 0. A lot of hockey left to go here. Swedish defensemen are staying right on that blue line and keeping that puck in the zone. Forwards are going to have to come in deeper. They're out too high.
Well, they certainly are taking their time to get it together on this face-off. Stillman. It's Stillman. The backhand into the corner. Schlegel shoots it out, and now the Canadians on the attack. Boisvert, who's been dangerous but just hasn't come up with the goals. Dulles now. Dulles into the corner. Offside, the call. Canadians just a bit too slow to get out. You can see the black tape going on the stick. And each player will go through, well, any number of sticks during the season.
That's right. The way that the puck is shot off the stick, the player's weight is on the stick. They're banging together. They're running into the barriers. The player can go through a lot of sticks in a season.
Could be 2, sometimes, 3 a game. The Canadians now. Grейвз calling for it on the far side. Is pushed in. Grейвз will skate for it from the other side. Canadians. Nemeth gets it across to the far side. No one there to pick it up. Eventually, Loveson shoots it in. It's behind the net, right out front. Grейвз took the shot. Batted down. Grейвз still has it behind the net, trying to get it out front. There's no one there. If he does, now Sweden come up with it, and that trickles into the neutral zone. Loveson. "1-0, still the score here as the teams change, as the play continues. Grättön. Long shot in. Aslan comes out, gets to it first, and gets it up on the wing. He's been quick to do that throughout all through 3 periods. That was a bad pass, picked off at the defense, and the Canadians shoot it back in again. Strömvall up to his forward, and eventually that's pushed in on the backhand side, right out front, and a good clearance from Schlegel. There was no one there as the Swedish attacker went in, pushed it right in front of the net, and no one there to pick up the loose puck.
That's right, it was a nice move, but the forward had changed on the fly, and there wasn't anyone there to pick that up. Potentially dangerous play. Canadians are applying a bit more pressure now as they're being a lot more aggressive around the front of that Swedish net. It's very important that the defensemen start clearing them out of there, as you're seeing a lot more rebounds now than they've had chances for in the first 2 periods.
And again, both teams taking a lot of time for these face-offs. The Canadians are out there Well, Schlegel says, I want a drink of water. And where I come from, a guy would probably get a penalty for that, or he'd be told to get off the ice.
Yeah, that's right. They're really taking their time on these face-offs, and you think that'd cue that organ player to hit a few extra tunes out there.
No thanks, don't encourage him. All around the net now. Sweden on the attack. Viktorsson being tied up, along with Rupp, as they hold it against the boards for a face-off. You can see a lot of players wear the helmet. They all have to wear the helmet, but a lot of players will wear that visor in front.
Well, it does protect the face from high sticks. Puck can be deflected up there. Anything can happen. It's actually a nice little device to wear.
The long shot by number 34, Carlson, kicked away. Skodorensky getting a piece of that and pushing it into the corner. Along the boards, Dulles getting physical. The Canadians now on the attack. Coming back at 2-on-1. Coming in. Oh, that's so nice. Strubi, well, who else could it be? He's played so well. We said just a minute ago that he was there, got the pass from Lambert, and they've leveled the score. The action was going the other way. This could change things. We'll wait and see. But Strubi played so well. Let's look at this again.
Well, they seem a little fired up now, and it couldn't have been a better man to be carrying that puck down the ice than Lane Lambert. So much experience. He knows what to do. He pulls the Swedish defenseman over. Strubi's a big man with a long reach. Pulls the puck to the backhander and just puts it behind the goalie who slid to the other side.
So there's the scoreline here in the third period. Sweden won, Canada won. This game is anybody's game. It's wide open as we come live from the Soviet Union, the Olympic Hall here in Moscow. And the people are standing there cheering, and the Canadian supporters are finally getting behind their team. Lots of Canadians here. On the far side now, Canada coming back into this game right in front. Schreiber was there with the backhand, but couldn't get a piece of it.
Sounds like a broken record, but there we go again, side by side, Boisvert and Schreiber, really working hard. These two men have played a great game. There you see Todd Strubi and Danny Grätton. Lane Lambert talking about that last goal. I think they want more.
The Swedes now will have to pick up their game. They'll have to play like they played in the first and second periods. They definitely did dominate play right in front. The pass came from Martin. There was no one there to pick it up. Loveson. Martin again behind the net. Pushed away. Boisvert falls. Sweden now having problems getting out of their own zone. It's Canada on the attack right in front. Oh, and a great save by Aslan. Serge Boisvert, as we approach the 10-minute mark of this third and final period, was knocking on the door, but Aslan came to the rescue.
Another very nice play. The puck kept in the zone very nicely by Wally Schreiber. There you see the puck. It goes over to Serge Boisvert and sets up Grant Martin right in front of the net, and he just can't find an opening for that puck, as Aslan managed to smother it underneath him.
So that line with Boisvert out there and Martin really doing one heck of a job, aren't they?
They're really tenacious on the forechecking, and they really go at it.
Nemeth kicks that one into the corner, but Sweden comes back on the attack. Sweden now with a 2-on-2 break. Sweden, as they do so often, drop that puck. The pass comes across the far wing. The defenseman comes in to pick it up. Strumball takes a shot. Hit the post on the far side. That was from a ridiculously sharp angle, and he pranged it off the post. Canada now. Greyves couldn't control that, and this game has suddenly come alive as we come live from Moscow. Incredible stuff as Nemeth forechecks. Janssen, good pass up on the wing. Dropping it back. Sternball working his way in, and he missed the net completely. Canada now content just to dump it in as they regroup, change on the fly. Janssen decides just to flip that one into the corner. Loveson Both teams continue to change as the play continues now. Mixing it up in the neutral zone. Pace is picking up considerably as the Swedes fire it in, and Lars Carlson goes after it. Canada back on the attack, 3-on-3. Punching that one in, it was Heru into the corner. Aslan, not a particularly good pass from him. That goes back to the point, and that's in the net. Well, the cameraman was lost completely on that one, but I can confirm that Aslan was beaten, and the score is 2-1. Canada have taken the lead. Danny Grétton getting the congratulations from the Canadians. Two to one the score here in the third and final period. The Canadians have left it to the third period to come back into this game. Number 27 standing up, taking the bows.
Well, as we said, things would open up, and they seem to have gotten their legs. After that one goal seemed to break the barrier that the Swedes had for them. Maybe things are really going to start falling now. I don't know. But the Canadians are looking sharper now than they have yet in this game, and anything can happen.
Sweden now back on the attack. Eriksson, a lovely pass. Slap shot is deflected high. They're still waiting for that to come down. Strubi comes up with it. He knows exactly where it is. A long pass, too far for anyone at all, and Aslan will have to steer that one away. Stillman passing it up onto the wing. Oling is taken out of the play, and Canada come back. Boisvert can control that. The Canadians certainly changing their style of play here. A bit more aggressive. The wingers are coming back to help out the defenseman. Levens now. Levens. That pass takes a deflection and he picks it up again. Levens still having problems along the boards as he's brought to the ice, and the Canadians go after it. Schreiber couldn't control that as it bounced over his stick. Sweden on the attack now. You can see the Canadians getting back. They picked it up a gear. Now Canada. That comes out to Aslan as he steers that into the corner. Schreiber wants it. Forsland, a long pass picked off at the defense, and Canada return it now. Aslan will have to touch that. He's out of his net, and the whistle blows. And surely that must be an offside call. They thought if he touched it, it wouldn't be an icing. That's why they let it go. There's the goal they scored earlier, and even on the replay, the cameraman didn't get it. Confirmation of the score in the background, though. Canada 2, Sweden 1 here in the third and final period. We're coming live from Moscow. The Izvestia tournament is well and truly underway.
Well, the Swedes seem to have slowed up a little bit here. I don't know if the wind's been taken out of their sails by these two Canadian goals, but now they've got to dig down, see what they've got underneath all of this, and see if they can put pressure on that Canadian goal again.
Richard Dave King must have said something to the Canadians in that second, third period break there. What do you think it was?
I think he told them to just relax, make things happen. I think the Canadians were trying to force the play a little bit too much, and there's times when you can try a little bit too hard. And maybe they're just relaxed a little more out there, and they seem to be skating a lot better.
But also, you must admit, the tenacious play of the Swedes has kind of fizzled out. The game is far from over, but they're not playing like they were playing.
Well, like I said before, though, two quick goals can sort of slow anybody down, and maybe it's going to take the Swedes a little bit of time to get themselves back together.
We're having troubles here with our pictures, which are coming to you live from the Soviet Union. The score is Canada 2 on goals from Strubi and Grättön, and Sweden 1 on a first period goal from Sternvall. The game is live, and right now we have lost picture, so please stay with us. We've got lots of hockey coming today and lots of hockey coming throughout the week. On Monday, we'll be bringing you Canada against West Germany. Sunday rather, Canada against West Germany. Monday, Czechoslovakia, Sweden. Tuesday, Czechoslovakia, Canada. Wednesday, Czechoslovakia, Russia. That's going to be a big game. Thursday, Canada against Finland. And then Friday, the big one, Canada against Russia. We're going to take a short break now. Please join us in a moment. To the Soviet Union for this game between Sweden and Canada. As you can see, while we were away, it's Sweden 1, Canada now 3, so they've extended their lead here in the third period. We do apologize for that break. The problems coming from the Soviet end, not this end. This game is live from Moscow, and as you can appreciate, things do happen with live television. There's the time, 5 minutes, coming up to the 5-minute mark. Left in the third and final period. 3-1 the score for Canada. For the first two periods, Richard, it was all Sweden, but now the Canadians have come out fighting here in the third period.
Well, a game that's as fast as ice hockey, tempo can change very suddenly. And Sweden had a lot of momentum going, didn't take full advantage of some of those situations, and they've allowed the Canadians to get back into this, and now the momentum is totally turned. The Canadians are on top 3-1, they're all over the Swedes. Svensson, hoping to bring the Swedes back in. Oh, a lovely little play. The pass was right, but the tip was just wide of the target. The deflection goes all the way out, and the Swedes will have to do it all over again. So time running out for Sweden. They played so well for two periods. The Canadians didn't look like much of a team for two periods, but now they're back in it, and they lead 3-1. A golf-type shot from Selmer Odelin. Canadians will be happy now to play it safe as they work it back out. Pass over onto the side with Schreiber. Schreiber takes the shot. Deflected wide, and still it's Canadians with the possession of the puck. Back into the corner. Schreiber. Boisvert out front. Boisvert circles. He wants that puck. He's got it now. It's right between his legs. You can see what he's doing. That's Martin, rather, not Boisvert. Boisvert's out there too. Martin had that backhand shot, tried to get it through the goaltender, and that's a difficult shot for the goalie. A bouncing shot on its edge. The rebound came off the boards, and Skorodensky made sure that there was no further rebound. Very good play by Skorodensky as the forwards were changing on that play, and the Swedes quickly dumped it in from center. It's a good play for him. We'll take that whistle, get the face off, get new legs out here. We want to control this play. Got about 4 minutes left. They just kill off with a 2-goal lead.
Number 23, Grant Martin, right in front of that net at the far end, tried to flip that through. A cheeky little move on his part, just didn't quite come off. So now what can Tommy Sandlin do, the coach for Sweden? Richard, the big question is, as time ticks away, will he take off the goaltender trailing by 2 goals?
Well, if they can get control in the Canadian zone in the last minute or two of play, I think he's going to pull that goalie out and put that 6th attacker on.
So we'll watch for that. Lots of time left here in the third period. The Canadians in possession as they dump it into the neutral zone. Strubi, forechecking, taken out of the play, and back comes Sweden. Sternball doing it by himself, eventually got that pass up. Go in the corner, Janssen eventually gives it behind the net. A lot of holding and grabbing, the Canadian style of play at times. Sternball wants it, he breaks towards the net. Sternball's right in front, and you can see the goaltender signaling there's a man free in front of the net. Somebody pick him up.
That's right, he was wide open, and Sternball's a man that can put that puck in the net. There's another icing call as the play will go back down to the Canadian zone.
You can see what he's trying to do there. The play was building up in the corner. He was back at the point, break for that net, no one there at all.
That's right, exactly, and if you notice, Janssen was in that corner. He's a defenseman. Their defensemen are at the situation now where they've got to take a chance on that blue line, crash the blue line and hold the puck in at any cost. They need the puck in that Canadian zone. They need shots on net.
For you youngsters watching there, you say Janssen's in the corner, he's a defenseman. Who's the winger backing him up? Sternball, back at the point, and that's what you're supposed to do. If a defenseman goes forward, you go back and back him up. Some good play from both teams. Nemeth pushing that, Greives. Svensson goes back for it. The Swedes now have it all to do as they trail by 2 goals here in the third period. The shot hits a defenseman and goes into the corner. Canada come up with a puck, and they're happy just to flip that out, but it doesn't go all the way. Still, it's not out. Nemeth pushes it over to the left wing. Grейвз now. He'll punch that into the defensive zone for Sweden. Too far for anyone, and that's back behind the net. Sweden now. Time running out. An easy shot into the corner. Just a couple of minutes remaining here in the game. Oling wants it. Oling now. Oling looking for someone to pass to as he backhands it back into the Canadian zone. Grétton along the boards. Hadju. Fredrik Stillman. Stillman taken out nicely. Heru doing some good forechecking for the Canadians. Sweden having all sorts of problems. They want to get the puck in the Canadian zone. They want to get that goalie out. Sweden shooting it in, going back for it. Levens. So the Canadians hanging on to this puck. Well, they've just lost it. Shot from a sharp angle, goes off a stick. Going over for it is Yves Heru, and he dumps it into the neutral zone. Forsland, a rink-wide pass. Some good defensive work there by Schlegel as he lifted the stick of the Swedish player. Oh, that was nice. Anders Husss made a nice move there, but nothing came of it. That's loose right in front. The backhand shot, they score! Anders Husss, who was doing a lot of forechecking there for Sweden, eventually pushed that backhander through the Canadian defense and the goaltender to make it 3-2. This game is far from over.
Well, he's a player that I've liked right from the start of this game. He just never stops skating. He's moving all the time. A lot of action around the front of that net, and he breaks away from Bobby Dulles and says, I'm going to have this rebound after all, and he backhands it into the net.
And the big question there, Richard, was Thomas Brewer, number 28, in the crease. I think the Canadians were calling for that. Of course, when a player's in the crease, you can't allow that goal.
Obviously, that's discretionary by the ref again, as he felt the Canadian defenseman was holding the player in there. If he was in the crease, he'd been pushed in by the Canadian defenseman. And as you see here, the Swedes have called a timeout, or the Canadians have called a timeout, one or the other. Each team is entitled to one. It's a 30-second timeout.
What's the strategy now for Sweden? They obviously have to get the puck into the Canadian zone to get their goalie out if it gets that far.
The strategy is probably to get the puck into that Canadian zone, tie the puck up, force a face-off, and on a face-off, pull that sixth attacker onto the ice, get the goalie out. As you see that scoreline, Canada 3, Sweden 2. We're late in the game.
Well, the net is wide open. They've got their sixth attacker out on the far side of the ice, and they've done it already. A dangerous move from the Swedes as the official tells everyone to get back. And let's get this face-off underway. Well, a gutsy move by the Swedish coach, Tommy Sandlin. 30 seconds to go. Can Sweden pull it off? They led for so long in this game. They've got the puck now. They're working their way out. That's right in front, and that's kicked away. The Canadians have it now. The net is wide open. That's flipped all the way down, and the defenseman will pick that one up as time ticks away here for Sweden. A backhand shot into the far corner. Sweden come up with it. It's behind the net. There's still time to put the puck in the net. Canada pushed out of the play, and that goes out over the blue line. 2 seconds, 1 second. There goes the whistle. The Canadians celebrate. They've won this one 3-2. Well, Richard, a strong finish from Canada. What happened to Sweden? They played so well for 2 periods.
Well, the momentum was taken away by those 2 quick goals the Canadians got, and then it really boiled down to a battle here as both teams are really going at it. And the Swedes, right at the end, had that shot that they wanted. Good work into the corner. The Swedish forward came out with that puck, threw it out in front. They had the shot right in the slot that they wanted.
There's that goal by number 16, Strubi. A lovely pass from Lambert. And that really started things for the Canadians, didn't it?
It certainly got things going. It was a beautiful goal.
The Canadians came back. Grätton got the second one, the one we didn't see because the cameraman was caught out of the angle there, but number 27 scored it, and then from then on it was all Canada. 2-1 was the score. This is the one we didn't see because we lost the feed there from the Soviet Union. A lovely one pass over from Nemeth. The goal cleanly in the back of the net. Aslan beaten cleanly. Now here's that goal from Husss to make it 3-2. A lot of forechecking here from the Swedes. They're all around the net. There is a man in the crease, but he's being pushed in there, as you said. The backhand shot, the goaltender's down. That makes it 3-2, and that's the final score. Well, we've got lots of ice hockey to come here on Eurosport, so stay with us. The final score here from the Soviet Union, Canada 3, Sweden 2. Join us in a moment. Still more ice hockey to come.